here is the June-July roadmap update. This Vicus, so it's lit. Basically, some of their members went to South Korea to join Smilegate and whip something up in the kitchen, and so we'll see what that is. This right here is basically saying that they are going to give us classes on a 2-month release cadence. So, we're not going to be getting one every month. They're doing it for the longevity of the game and for the good health of the game, to keep hype up. I completely agree, because if you drop everything at once, it's just going to be too much chaos. If you do it too quickly, there's just too much pay to win feel for players who are like, well, I wanted to play this class, and they're coming out too close. Now you're forcing me to pay. It could be something like that, right? So there's that as well. So that's very, very, they also said that the original 21 are going to come out first, and then they'll worry about the new classes and shit. So possibly, the way that I kind of interpret it for myself, they're not going to do artist and then like scouter and then summoner, right? They'll probably do it relatively, close for everything else. But yeah. So that's how that one is. There was also... Yeah, here it is. While the specific advanced class schedule is not set in stone, we can say we're planning to release the 21 advanced classes before other new or future classes. So that means we're not going to get... what's that one? Aeromancer as a global release. Because the only way that would work is if they got everything out and then gave us Aeromancer within like 2 months. That's not going to happen because we're doing it on a 2-month cadence for the rest of 22. You can see that right here. Let's see. As we mentioned, we'll let players know what classes are coming out near Power Pass grants or progression events. So like Super Expresses, there's also Hyper Express. There's the Power Pass that lets you basically... The Phaeton one just finished all of Phaeton for you. All you had to do was go from like 960 to 1100, and then you keep playing. If they get... I think they're going to give us a Punica Pass, which I think they mentioned somewhere down the road. This is them talking about them wanting to be transparent, make sure everybody, kind of knows what's going on, this, that, and a third. But here's this, the roadmap general. Content found below are some of the highlights that they know people are looking forward to. We're also planning on giving every player a free Punica Pass this summer. So Punica, basically, like Phaeton, instead of going through all of Phaeton and whatnot, 1302, and then you start rolling. If I recall correctly, and I could be very wrong, for Punica, I think they just give you 1302 gear and tell you to play the story, and then you go. It does not automatically finish Punica for you. That's how one of the power passes was in Russia. And I use it on my scouter. It got my scouter to 1302, spawned him in Punica at the very beginning, and then told me play the story. So if you have to play the story, you've been at least warned. And then they're fine-tuning the details for another Express event. This Express event could be one of two things. It could be a Super Express, kind of like what we've seen that you could have used when the Lancemaster Destroyer came out. It could be a Super Express like that. It could be a Hyper Express. The Hyper Express is basically saying, like, it's the Tier 3 portion, right? Super Express was like Tier 1, Tier 2, get you to Tier 3. The Hyper Express would be like, okay, everything that you do in Tier 3, we're going to reward you for it. You get to 1340, here's some juice. You get to 1370, here's some juice. 85, here's some juice. 1400, here's some juice. And it basically boosts you up super fast to 1415. And then the same way that the Super Express, when you completed all of its little missions, it gave you a fat chest at the end. I would assume, of course, they're fine-tuning details, but in Russia, the way that it worked was once you hit 1415, you got a lot of juice. Like, just to compare, what I remember getting was 10,000 gold. I think it was 20 chests that I could open, and they were any relic pieces that I chose. So it could have been ring, earring, or necklaces. And they were all relics. I didn't get anything from it. Just warning, spoiler. I didn't get shit from it, so that was depressing. And then it came with a bunch of other stuff that I don't remember. But those are the two things that I remember. I'm not saying that we're gonna get that, but that's just what I remember getting. They're obviously like fine-tuning the details, so it could not be that. But we're at least getting Punica Pass, so that's gonna be cool. So for this month, we're in June. They're giving us Vicus, normal, and hard. Vicus is like, and I was saying this earlier on stream. If Vaulton kind of tells you like, hey, I just want you to be aware of a few mechanics, and you need to respect those mechanics, otherwise you get one shot thrown off the cliff. Vicus is going to kind of like be way more mechanic heavy. Like, you know, she might have a mechanic at 145, 130, 125, 115, 105, 95, 80, 75, you know, and it just goes all the way down. She's got all these mechanics that she's throwing at you. They're not going to one-shot you. Some of them will, some of them won't. But, you know, if they don't one-shot you, it's going to probably take like 80, 90% of your bar. So Vicus is completely different from Vaulton. This is the one that's going to be fucking delicious. Chef's kiss. So basically she's coming out 1430 for normal mode, which 1430 is plus 16 on all your pieces. So it's just one tap. You go from 1415 is plus 15 on everything. 1430 is plus 16 on everything. And then hard mode is, let's see, 15 is 15, 30 is 16, 17. So 1460 would be 18 on everything. If you were going to look to do hard mode for Vicus. I never got that high up on Russia, but I did clear her on normal. So I'm not 100% sure what the differences are there. So, you know, I'll get to find that out too. We get Ice Turtle. He starts at 1460. Again, I never got up that high. I don't know how he fights, so that'll be something new that I get to learn, so I'm looking forward to that. Throne Spire, very interesting name. Throne Spire is basically, if you played on Russia, it's the Igrahama Ridge. The ridge basically says, in the tower, you have tier 1, tier 2 tower, right? Those, you did a floor, and it was a set amount of shit, and then you go to the next floor. For the ridge, you walk down. If you played Final Fantasy XIV, you basically play it like a dungeon in 14. You wall tank. So you pull from wall to wall. So you take all these mobs, and then you go all the way to this wall, and then you kill everything. Then you go all the way to the next one, you kill everything. And you keep doing that over and over and over until you get to the end of the ridge, or the bridge, or whatever you want to call it. And then you get to the end, and you have a boss. You have to kill that boss to clear that floor, or that level. And then the first 25, you see right here, first 25 gives you rewards, and then the last 25 is just for just, you know, your own personal playtime. If I recall correctly, the first 25 do not reset, so whoever you're doing it on, like, they're gonna get juiced, and I don't think you can do it multiple times. It's one character does it, that's it. If I recall correctly. The new store cosmetics, Yaz's Jar. If you play mobile games, this is basically gacha. The way that it works is you have this cloth and like some other material. I don't remember what it was. And then you say, okay, I want to use this and I want to put it in, go towards like this box. And in that box, it could have like all the fighters, the martial artists, the gunners, everybody. It could have everybody headpiece. It could have, the other box could be everybody's chest piece. The next box, everybody's legs. And then the next box, everybody's weapon, right? So then you say, okay, this is the one that I want to roll for. So then you take these materials, you go in and you spend it on, let's just say, the weapon. And you've got multiple types of weapons. You've got like the let's just say like the silver grade weapon, and then like the gold grade weapon, or I guess you could say like the epic, like the purple, and then the legendary, right? So you got like epic skin and then legendary skin. Obviously you want the legendary, because one, it'll sell for more, two, it probably looks better. So you go in, you roll. You could get a purple of any class or an orange of any class, and you just got to pray that you get the right one. If you get the wrong one, let's say it costed you like 14 to roll for the weapon, right? they'll give you back like 7 or like 10 of the cloths, so that way you can continue and like at least have a little bit return on your investment. Not full 1-to-1, but you get a little bit back, and it, you know, it is what it is. But this is what this is, Yaz's Jar. It's just straight up gotcha. You can also do it to where if you have a lot of gold and people are like, hey, I rolled this legendary, but I'm just going to sell it instead, you can buy the legendary like that. So if, you know, hey, I don't feel that lucky, I'm just going to buy it off the market. Boom, I can buy it with gold. Hey, I want to be a little crackhead and I want to do like gacha pulls. All right, gimme. And then, you know, you get it yourself like that. So you've got a couple ways to get it. And, you know, it's up to you. So that's what this is. July. So if we listen to what they said in May, we got Destroyer that came out with Vaulton. So we're taking a break in June, and then in July we're getting Arcana or Arcanist in July. Okay, this is basically like Twisted Fate, but like Magic version, where she has a bunch of cards, and like in 14, you need to memorize what all your cards do, and then each card gives you a combination that you can do something, and you can have like super powerful things, or you can just have slapdick shit and it just be rip. She's coming in July. Also in July is Inferno Difficulty, or aka Hell Mode. Hell Mode is basically equalized, and this is not something that you go in and like, hey, I'm going to come in and I'm going to fight phase 1 and then I'll come back and do phase 2 later. This is back-to-back, okay? And the way that you get the most prestigious thing from this is you kill it back-to-back, nobody dies. You cannot see the health bar. You don't know what the health bar is at. You don't know if it's like full bar of 29 or if it's like a small bar of 29. So it takes a lot of practice and getting used to, right? So this is going to be very interesting for this. Like I said, it is equalized, so you're chilling, but you're gonna have to pay for your pots. You're gonna have to pay your whirlwind bombs, you know, all that good stuff. This is 100% like just prestige stuff. I think it said that you get, yeah, here you go, rewards you with titles, achievements, and stronghold structures, and more. The title for getting the Beast Roar, I believe is what it was called, at least in Korea, is literally just a title, and it has a little symbol next to it. But that's just I'm gonna try and go for it, so you already know the business. If anybody else is, hit me up. You already know. But also, you can do normal or hard mode, and then you can start doing Inferno Difficulty, so that way you can just keep on fighting it. So that's that. But then it also says you have to be 1445, so rip. I guess I'd have to push my sword or my scrapper up. Challenge Abyss Dungeons. This is basically like the game telling you, we're going to put you back through an old Abyss dungeon, but it's going to be cracked. Basically pre-nerf. So if you got used to it, or if you never got to try it pre-nerf, 90% sure it's going to be pre-nerf, because why would it not be? It's literally called Challenge. And I will say, for the Challenge Guardian raids, like just for instance, Ernil, I fought him. That bear was the bear that I remember on Russia. And so I feel like, you know, the Challenge Abyss dungeons are going to be the same thing. In Russia, they did it 2 ways. The first way, for the longest time, the dungeons would last 2 weeks. So like we would go... we would start off with the North Vern one. It would be there for 2 weeks, so we'd do it 2 times. We'd go to Rohendel, do that one 2 times, go to Yorn, do that 2 times, and then go back to North Vern. They never made us do Phaetons. And then they changed it to where instead of every, you know, North Vern for 2 weeks and then Rohendel 2 weeks, it was North Vern 1 week, Rohendel 1 week, Yorn 1 week, and then back to North Vern. And so they switched it up like that. I guess just to give you like a refresh every week. I don't really know which one that I enjoyed, but that's what they did on Russia. I don't know how they're going to do it here. And that is the June-July update. A lot of good stuff. I'm actually very, 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 very excited for Vicus. She is so much fun. I love that fight. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And then Arcana, get another mage, so now I can put some more mage clothing on another character. But I need to buy more slots because I already have 11 filled up. So it is what it is. But that's everything on here. This was live stream, twitch.tv/Tuglow. If y'all want to hang out, I'll be there. Otherwise, catch you on the next video. Peace.